After 10 years of trying to win over Liam, I finally succeeded. Liam was holding the diamond painting I had painstakingly made for him, looking at me.
Emily, is this the gift you made for me?
This took me over a month to complete. It's very thoughtful.
Before I could finish, Liam threw my diamond frame into the swimming pool.
Go, fetch the frame, kneel in front of me holding it, and say you don't deserve me and won't give me such trash again.
I bit my lip in humiliation and clenched my fists tightly.
Liam, look, your admirer is getting angry.
Liam laughed, leaning arrogantly on the chair.
Hurry up, or you won't be allowed to see me anymore.
He knew I wouldn't dare joke with him because the system's setting required me to see Liam every day. Otherwise, I would perish. So, I was particularly afraid of not seeing Liam. He wasn't just Liam to me, he was my lifeline. But fortunately, after 10 years of devotion, I was almost there. My loyalty points were nearly full. I was about to be free. Thinking of this, I jumped into the pool and retrieved the diamond painting. He didn't know that it wasn't just a diamond painting, inside it was a valuable ring. A ring I had painstakingly obtained, which would greatly benefit Liam's family's business.
Wow, this dog is as obedient as ever.
Liam's friends started mocking too, and Liam looked at me even more smugly.
Now, take off your clothes and dance for me in the water, and I won't be mad.
It was late autumn, the wind was cold and biting, and I was already soaked. Asking me to dance in the pool now showed a complete lack of compassion. No, to be precise, he didn't see me as a person at all. But what could I do? I had to survive. Trembling, I took off my coat and jumped into the pool. The water was freezing, so cold that my legs cramped. I suddenly choked on some water and started sinking.
James, she's not going to make it.
Someone in the crowd shouted.
This is just her way of getting my attention. She'll swim up in a moment.
As my consciousness began to fade, a man in a white shirt swam towards me. When I was pulled to the shore, I coughed so hard it felt like my lungs were coming out. I was shivering from the cold, but suddenly, a suit jacket was draped over me. Then I met a pair of gentle eyes.
My brother was out of line. Don't be afraid, I'll take care of it for you.
As my awareness returned, I realized the man in front of me was Liam's brother. But how could someone so distinguished be at a swimming pool? If he was here to relax, why wasn't he wearing swimwear? I looked at the white shirt clinging to his body, his muscles faintly visible. I estimated 8 packs, looking very solid.
Brother, this woman is just pretending. A woman like her doesn't deserve your concern.
Enough, apologize to her, and we'll deal with you later.
Oh, come on! Brother, this woman is nothing but trouble! Why don't you believe me?
Apologize or face the consequences.
James's voice was undeniable. After a moment, Liam, looking defeated, came over.
Sorry, okay?
He looked at me arrogantly, without a hint of apology. Under normal circumstances, I would have slapped someone like him. But now, I was supposed to be a sycophant.
It's okay. Sorry, I didn't dance as you asked.
Hearing this, Liam's eyes lit up.
See, brother? She's just a sycophant, not worth your defense.
She's a girl, you shouldn't talk about her like that.
James helped me up, his voice gentle.
I apologize on behalf of my brother. He means no harm, he's just spoiled. I'll make sure to discipline him.
It's okay, brother.
Seeing that my sycophant points weren't increasing, I started to panic. What else could I do? I was already soaking wet. I pouted, my eyes filled with unspoken emotions. Liam was dragged home by his brother, looking like he was in for a serious scolding. But that wasn't my concern, it was their family issue. I dragged my tired body back home. Who knew they would make an announcement the next day? I thought Liam must have been severely punished and was trying to provoke me this way. The social media post showed him and Grace in an intimate photo, the two of them hugging, Grace shyly kissing his cheek. Liam still had that carefree, smug look. Clearly showing off to me.
Childish.
I muttered under my breath, about to turn off my phone when Liam's call came through. Heavy breathing came from the other end.
Oh, be gentle.
Grace's voice came through, sweet and coy. It was obvious what they were doing. They had just confirmed their relationship and couldn't wait to be together. They really were a perfect match.
Liam, have you fallen for someone else?
My voice came out choked with sobs, and an irritated voice responded.
We're out of protection, bring some over.
The call ended abruptly. I stared at the phone in disbelief. He actually wanted me to bring that. With the last bit of my sycophant points in mind, I went to the pharmacy and bought the largest size to bring to Liam. This would definitely annoy him.
Are you sure?
The pharmacy clerk looked at me incredulously, her mouth agape.
My husband is a foreigner.
All right, I'll get it for you.
Thanks.
I happily took a cab to Liam's hotel and knocked on the door of Suite 80888.
Why are you so slow?
Liam snatched the item from my hand and shut the door.
Ding, congratulations, host. Your dedication has reached 100%, and you have successfully gained a healthy body.
A white light flashed, and I felt much lighter. My illness was cured. Naturally, I no longer needed to please Liam. I directly dialed 911.
Hello? Officer, there's an illegal transaction happening here.
Half an hour later, Liam was taken away by the police, and I watched them with a smile.
To my surprise, besides Liam and Grace, there were two other women dressed provocatively. No wonder.
With a new lease on life, I celebrated with my best friend, Sophia.
What's got you so happy today?
Don't worry, I don't want to date anymore. I've moved on.
Sophia's eyes lit up at my words.
Girl, you finally figured it out. That guy was never worth it. You were always so down when you liked him, and it broke my heart. He treated you like a doormat, and you're a girl who deserves better.
Sophia went on and on, venting her frustrations on my behalf.
All right, Sophia, let's not talk about him. We're here to have fun.
Yes, let's. We haven't hung out in ages. Tonight, we party till we drop.
I had a blast with Sophia for 3 days and nights, feeling incredibly liberated. When I got home, I saw Liam standing angrily at my door. His rage intensified when he saw me.
I heard you reported me. Emily, how could you be so petty? If you can't have me, no one can.
Liam, I'm not your slave. I don't like you anymore. Don't bother me again, or I'll report you for trespassing.
I pushed him aside and prepared to enter my house.
Don't think you can get my attention this way. Your spiteful behavior is wrong. You should be selfless. I'll forgive you this time, but don't expect mercy next time.
Liam left before I could respond. I laughed at his absurdity but couldn't be bothered to argue. I went inside and lay on my bed. I took out my phone and saw over 100 missed calls from Liam. No wonder he was so angry. Bored, I scrolled through my phone and suddenly received a friend request.
Miss Emily, thank you for helping my brother see the error of his ways. My brother has always been rebellious. I see you have a unique talent. Would you help me devise a strategy to educate him?
The additional message left Emily stunned. After a moment's hesitation, she agreed.
Sorry, Miss Emily, I sent it by mistake. This is the plan I have specified. Please review it, Miss Emily.
The other side soon sent a table listing all of Liam's bad habits.
What's my reward?
I'll let you decide, Miss Emily.
Emily was taken aback by this message. What did it mean?
Is there anything you want, Miss Emily?
To see the abs.
Sure. I'll work harder on perfecting my muscle definition over the next few days.
Deal.
Back at school, Emily started studying diligently. She had always revolved around Liam, never planning for her own future. Now, it seemed like a bad deal.
It's still possible to prepare for the national exams. Getting a stable job would be great.
With this in mind, she went to the stationery store and bought many related books.
Who do we have here? Turns out it's our university sycophant.
Grace's eyes were full of resentment. Maybe Emily had interrupted her plans that day, and she was still upset.
What was so good about that man anyway?
Grace, after all, was a lady of a wealthy family. There was no need for her to be with such a man.
Even sycophants know to read books.
These days, even sycophants know to read books.
The two girls beside her looked at Emily with disdain and started laughing hysterically after hearing Grace's words.
Who was it that got caught before? The dignified lady of the Grace family, degrading herself like this.
Grace's face turned pale.
Hold her down. I want to tear her mouth apart.
Yes.
The two followers grabbed Emily, one on each side, rendering her immobile.
He.
Grace, is she crazy?
One of the followers immediately chickened out, loosening her grip on Emily's hand. Emily took the opportunity to free her hand and stomped hard on her foot. The other follower tried to come over but was kicked to the ground by Emily.
Pathetic coward.
She clapped her hands and was about to leave when she met a man's mocking gaze.
Didn't expect Miss Emily to be this interesting.
His eyes were full of amusement, and he wore gold-rimmed glasses, looking very much like a refined villain from a novel.
What are you here for?
I curled my lips.
Naturally, to discuss how to deal with my brother.
Under our discussion, Liam's financial resources were cut off. The once extravagant young master couldn't even pay for a meal with his friends, and naturally, he turned to me, his former admirer, for help. Of course, he still believed that it was a favor to me.
I'll count to 3, and that woman will definitely appear in front of me. Do you believe it?
Liam's confident voice echoed in the private room, followed by a chorus of flattery.
Of course we believe it. That admirer of yours has been devoted to you for 10 years. We've all seen it. The way she begged at your feet, like a loyal dog. Honestly, I kind of want to see her crawling on the ground.
Yeah, when she comes, let's make her bark like a dog. We'll record it as a memento of their loving moment.
The voices in the private room grew more and more outrageous, even suggesting I strip and crawl on the floor. Ha, these guys aren't worthy.
I don't want to see abs anymore. They humiliated me. Help me get back at them.
I sent their information directly to James, who quickly responded with a question mark. James's influence was formidable. In Jinghai, no force dared to provoke him.
No, you still have to see the abs, but I'll teach them a lesson.
He set a smiling face, and I couldn't help but feel speechless. I knocked on the door of the private room, and under everyone's gaze, I slowly approached. Liam looked at me, amusement in his eyes, seemingly relieved. It seemed he wasn't entirely confident about calling me here this time.
Oh, Emily is here? What performance do you have for us this time? We've been waiting for you for a while.
You're not quick this time. You've kept Liam waiting for half an hour. How about punishing yourself with a drink or doing a little dance?
What are you waiting for? Get down and bark like a dog.
All right.
I forced a smile and took a step closer to the man in front of me. Liam straightened up, looking at me with amusement.
If you perform well, I'll let you pay for today's bill.
Pay the bill? He actually thought that was a favor to me. I laughed out of anger, and they took it as a sign of my shamelessness.
How shameless can she be, laughing at a time like this?
You don't understand. It's Liam's irresistible charm.
They whispered among themselves, and I reached out and slapped Liam hard. The air froze instantly, and you could hear a pin drop. Liam's fair face visibly swelled.
Liam, I don't know who gave you the courage. I stopped liking you a long time ago, and now you dare to humiliate me? Today, I'll teach you a lesson.
With that, I slapped him again. Narrator, toned, terrified, his eyes turned red instantly, and he tried to grab me, but I dodged him directly.
Emily.
Narrator, tone, serious, he roared, trying to intimidate me, but I pulled out a pair of nunchucks from my sleeve and struck a standard pose. Narrator, tone, serious. Every time Liam humiliated me in the past, I would practice with the nunchucks diligently, just so I could one day get my revenge.
What are you crazy woman trying to do? Someone, stop her.
Narrator, tone, serious. A few of his cronies in the private room actually tried to rush at me.
Do you know why he called me here? It's not just to humiliate me. The most important thing is, he's out of money.
You're slandering me. My family runs such a big company. How could we be out of money?
Narrator, tone, serious. The people in the room laughed instantly, but I remained calm.
He offended his brother. His brother is the one in charge. Do you think he could still have money?
Narrator, tone, serious. I calmly played a voice message from James.
That kid has been asking for it for a long time. If you really want to go, make sure to protect yourself and give him a good lesson.
Narrator, tone, serious. As soon as these words were heard, the room fell silent.
I suddenly remembered I have something to do at home. I have to go.
Bro, let's meet another day.
My dog is about to have puppies.
Narrator, tone, serious. A crowd of people left in a rush, and Liam panicked instantly.
Come back! How have I treated you all this time? And now you treat me like this at a critical moment.
Now it's time to settle things between us.
Narrator, tone, serious. I curved my lips into a wicked smile and performed 9 sets of nunchuck moves on him. Narrator, tone, serious. Liam was sent to the hospital, and I happily completed several practice exams. Narrator, tone, serious. Later, I found out that those people in the private room went bankrupt one after another. Even Liam, after recovering his mobility, was sent by James to wash dishes for 2 months. Narrator, tone, serious. I heard his hands were peeling. Even Grace didn't visit him. Everyone in the circle dared not approach Liam, fearing they might accidentally provoke James and face retaliation. Narrator, tone, cheerful. As soon as I got the news, I called James and arranged to meet at a stir-fry restaurant. Narrator, tone, cheerful. Because I wanted to thank him for his righteousness, I bought a group deal in advance. Narrator, tone, cheerful. It cost $200 per person, which pained me a lot. Narrator, tone, cheerful. When he arrived, he brought a bouquet of champagne roses.
Sorry for being late, this is to apologize.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. The flowers were beautiful and fragrant.
What do you want to eat?
He handed me the menu, but I waved it off.
No need, I've already ordered. It's not appropriate to order more.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. I placed the menu on the table beside us, and he smiled at that.
True, how could I forget that you are good with numbers?
You seem to know me well?
I heard my brother mention you at home.
Then you must have a good relationship with your brother. Why did you do this to him?
Narrator, tone, serious. This left me puzzled. Normally, brothers wouldn't treat each other like this, right? What was he thinking?
I did have a good relationship with him before, but after he humiliated you like that, I lost all fondness for him. Besides, it's just letting him experience life, Compared to the hardships you went through back then, it's nothing.
Narrator, tone, sad indeed. I'd been following Liam for so many years, and life has been like walking on thin ice.
Thank you for still thinking about me.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. A smile curved on my lips, and I couldn't be happier. I'm an orphan, and there are very few people in this world who truly care about me. Apart from my best friend, there's only this man in front of me. But we had no prior contact. I don't know why he's so good to me. As for liking him, I didn't even dare to think about it. After all, the man in front of me is a favored child of heaven, and I'm just an ordinary college student.
I know you don't like Liam, you're just trying to survive. Can you be with me and let me make up for all the years you've endured?
Can I touch your abs?
Of course you can, I'm all yours, you can touch wherever you want.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. Hearing this, I shyly lowered my head. James's eyes were full of tenderness, as if he wanted to drown me in them. We got together. But because I was preparing for the national exam, we didn't make it public. I worked hard for a long time, and James often guided me. Soon, I walked into the exam hall. Most of the questions on the paper were similar to ones I had seen before, so I answered them fluently. I felt relaxed when I walked out of the exam hall. Narrator, tone, cheerful. James was waiting for me at the door with flowers. The moment he saw me, his smile bloomed.
Congratulations on entering a new phase of your life. No matter the results, you're my girlfriend.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. I took the bouquet of sunflowers and smiled brightly.
Thank you.
Bro, why are you with this woman? She's really mean and knows nunchucks. You should run.
What do you mean, this woman? She's your sister-in-law.
Narrator, tone, surprised. Liam was instantly dumbfounded.
Didn't you like me? How did you become my sister-in-law?
All right, let's go home first.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. I couldn't be bothered with this fool and got into the car with James. In the rearview mirror, Liam stood there dumbfounded, not knowing what he was thinking. But I didn't care about him. I sat in the back seat, contentedly touching the abs.
They feel nice.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. With graduation approaching, James was worried about my safety if I rented a place alone, so he brought me home. However, we slept in separate rooms, which made me very unhappy, so I could only touch the abs during the day.
All right, we'll live together after we get engaged, okay?
Why? Don't men want to pounce on their girlfriends once they're in a relationship? Do you not like me?
Narrator, tone, sad. My eyes turned red, and my chest heaved.
Silly, why are you crying?
Narrator, tone, cheerful. He laughed and pinched my cheek.
I'm doing this for your own good.
No, you're just not letting me touch the abs.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. After arguing for a while, I finally got permission to touch the abs. I touched them for a long time and fell into a deep sleep. Narrator, tone, serious. The next morning, James was gone again. I felt the empty bed, feeling incredibly upset.
I rushed out of the room, wanting to question James, but Liam stopped me, his eyes bloodshot, as if I had done something unforgivable.
Did you spend the night with my brother?
Yeah, so what? I enjoyed those abs last night. What's the problem?
Don't you like me? Didn't you say you like me the most? Emily, what's going on with you? You don't need to punish me like this. I'll agree to be with you, isn't that enough?
He yelled at me hysterically, spitting all over my face.
Please understand, I am now your sister-in-law.
Don't be like this. I like you now. I'll be with you. I'm better than my brother in that aspect. If you like it, I can give it to you right now.
Liam pressed down on me. Seeing his lustful look, I kicked him hard in his vital area.
I didn't expect you to be so ruthless.
Liam looked at me, tears streaming down his face.
All right, let's not talk about these useless things when we meet in the future. Besides, your abs aren't as good looking as James's, so don't come over and get in my way.
I stood up calmly and turned to face the smiling eyes.
James? Sorry, I might have been a bit too harsh.
I didn't expect that in such a situation, James didn't blame me. Instead, he beat Liam up in front of me after he recovered.
Do you know who she is?
James stepped on the bruised and swollen Liam and asked coldly.
Sister-in-law, save me!
He was crying and snotting all over the place, and I felt utterly disgusted.
All right, he's still your brother. Stop hitting him.
James only withdrew his hand after hearing this.
He finally caught his breath and took in large gulps of fresh air.
It's okay. If he disrespects you again, you can deal with him however you want.
James comforted me, still giving Liam a warning look. Liam immediately cowered, looking like a bullied schoolboy. I swallowed and nervously touched James's abs.
James responded with a warm smile.
When I woke up, I was in an abandoned warehouse, facing an aggressive Grace.
Emily, you're not even that pretty. Why would Liam be interested in you? Why does he think of you even when he's with me? Do you know how much I dislike you?
Grace slapped me to vent her frustration.
You chose to put yourself through this. What does it have to do with me? Besides, you should be slapping Liam. He's the one causing you pain. He's the instigator. Why are you hitting me?
Hit him? I can't bear to.
Grace slapped me a few more times. I wanted to cry but had no tears, especially since my hands and feet were tied.
Do you know that what you're doing is illegal? Don't you want to marry Liam?
Hearing this, Grace perked up immediately.
Do you have a way?
Untie me first.
No way. What if you run away?
Come on, there are so many of you here. What can a weak girl like me do?
Hearing this, Grace finally reached out to untie my ropes, but not without a fierce warning.
If you try any tricks, I'll make sure you regret it.
All right, all right.
I successfully freed myself and began to look around for an escape route. I also looked for any useful tools. The nunchucks had been taken away, but they weren't too far from me.
Get the ring from my nunchucks. It can help solve the project he's been working on recently.
Really? Can a simple ring be that powerful? Liam has been working on it for over 5 months without success.
If you really think that way, you'll probably never have a chance to marry Liam in this lifetime.
Hearing this, Grace immediately went to get the nunchucks.
Where is it hidden? Are you messing with me?
No, bring it here, and I'll show you where it is.
Grace was still hesitant. I spread my hands.
Forget it, if you don't want to, I won't force you. But becoming my sister-in-law is a big deal.
All right, here you go.
Grace handed me the nunchucks, and I took them with a mischievous smile.
My showtime had begun.
I greeted the 3 people with nunchucks and called the police. James was furious when he found out I had been taken. He pressured Grace's company into bankruptcy, and Grace, along with the 2 accomplices, ended up in prison.
From now on, don't ever leave my sight, understand?
James looked at me with unwavering tenderness in his eyes. I nodded, understanding his concern.
I understand. Look at you, you're sweating.
I wiped the sweat off James's forehead. Liam's expression changed multiple times as he watched me, but he still wore a mournful look. He should have learned his lesson from last time. No matter what he thought, he could only respectfully call me sister-in-law.
I'm sorry. This was my fault.
Liam was kicked over by James, lowering his head, looking quite aggrieved.
Apologize.
Sister-in-law.
Good boy.
Soon, it was the day of my wedding with James. But Liam kept looking at me as if he had something to say. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore.
Spit it out. Don't delay my wedding.
Do you know why my brother likes you? Because you look exactly like Isabella.
A stand-in? Hearing this, my face turned pale. Naturally, I didn't believe what Liam said, but when he showed me a photo of the three of them together, I realized how ridiculous I had been. My heart ached terribly. I thought I had found someone who would protect me, but it turned out to be just a dream.
Isabella was the girl my brother liked. We were very close, but you're nothing like Isabella. At first, I also saw you as a stand-in, but when I realized you weren't Isabella, I started to dislike you. When I finally came to my senses, I found that I had already fallen in love with you.
I had no time to listen to Liam's heartfelt confession. Someone like him deserved to be punished severely. But I cared deeply about James, more than anything. I had to ask him myself if he truly loved me. Wearing my most beautiful wedding dress, I ran through the wedding venue, looking for that familiar face. I wanted to ask him if he really loved me. But a gunshot made me fall. My white veil flew through the air, and I seemed to hear his anxious voice. But I couldn't hold on any longer. Forget it. My whole life was always unnecessary. Extras, Jane. Isabella was gone, and I didn't want to live anymore. I deliberately crashed my sports car into a bridge, but I didn't die. However, I was left disabled. A voice kept echoing in my ear, saying it was the devoted admirer reward system. But I didn't need to be a devoted admirer, I just needed to be an observer. And everything would be done by a girl named Emily. At first, I was dismissive and contemplated ending my life several times. But when the system showed me the girl's face, I wavered. She looked exactly like Isabella. But I couldn't intervene. Because my involvement could potentially cause the mission to fail. Emily's target was my brother. I watched as Emily went through hell and high water for my brother, enduring all kinds of humiliation and suffering. It pained me deeply. It took 10 years for my legs to recover, all thanks to the blood and tears of that girl. I was very grateful to her, and at the same time, I had an inexplicable fondness for her because of that face. All I could do was play the role of an observer. If I truly wanted to protect this girl, I needed to have the strength, not appear before her as a self-pitying wreck. I wanted to leave a good impression on her. While she was constantly trying to win over Liam, I was also undergoing rehabilitation training, even taking over company affairs to expand its development. Soon, the company became the largest and strongest in Shanghai, and my legs improved along with the progress, eventually allowing me to stand and walk like a normal person. When there was only 1% left of the devotion value, I couldn't take it anymore. Although it was just a little bit left, Liam was becoming more and more excessive, and I was really angry at how he treated Emily. After observing for a long time, I started to question whether I liked Emily or Isabella. The memories that originally belonged to Isabella gradually faded, and I began to focus more on this girl. I found Emily to be more likable than Isabella. I couldn't help but save Emily.
You're being foolish. If you can't endure this, the pain in your legs will accompany you for life.
But I couldn't help it. And I didn't regret it. Later, I got together with her. I was very happy. After spending time together, I found her to be a very lovely girl. I fell in love with her. But Liam was always coveting her, so I privately confronted Liam several times. She liked abs, so I worked out hard. Just to see her satisfied smile every time. When she was kidnapped, I was very angry. I punished those bad people and married her as quickly as possible. I was determined to protect her. But I didn't expect that she would be fatally harmed by a hitman from our rival company, forever remaining at our wedding. When she died, she was still murmuring, "Isabella." It hit me all at once. She had discovered the truth. I desperately called out to her, trying to explain.
Please listen to me.
But she could no longer hear me. I avenged her. Fiercely, with unimaginable cruelty. Even though they were already completely destroyed, it still didn't feel like enough. But I didn't have time to argue with them. She was afraid of the dark, and being alone on the journey must be very lonely.
It's okay, Emily. I'll come with you.
The end.